everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Workshop Wednesday. I truly appreciate you joining me. I hope everyone is having a great day. In today's video, I'm going to share how I remove the foil off of a little golden book before I turn it into a journal, and a few other little tips and tricks. About a year ago, I started creating journals, mainly using little golden books, but I've used other books too. And I really fell in love and have made a lot of journals. In 2022, I made over 50 journals. So I really wanted to know how I preserve and keep this as original looking as I possibly can. So I went on YouTube and I started watching a lot of videos on how other people turn little golden books into journals. There's a lot of different ways. None of it is wrong. It's just what you prefer. So I'm going to share a couple I decided I didn't want to use, but I thought I'd share them with you anyway. I saw several people scrape the foil off and then they remove the staples and then go on to turn it into a journal. Again, preserving the foil off of a little golden book was important because that's what it's known for, is the foil. So I didn't want to use that. Another method is a lot of different people use is they go along this valley and they just actually cut it off. So again, you're removing the foil and they're just tossing it away. But what happens with that is now when you go to bind your book, you're going to have to either cinch it or bind it over here. Now you're going to lose either some of the illustration or the wording when you get to putting it back together. So again, you're going to be going right in here. So I decided, nope, I don't want to do it that way. Well, I came across a lady, and I do not know who it is, but again, I'm sharing that because this was not my idea. She took a heat tool and heated this front and back. She took her time, and it actually eventually will peel away because it is held with glue. And then once she removes that foil, she sets it aside, saves it, and then she removes the staples. So that's what I do. I actually use a blow dryer and I get it really hot. I go back and forth. You have to be patient. And then I have a little tiny screwdriver that I remove the staples. Then I do save the foil. So when I am putting the book back together, I will put it on the front cover. Then I cinch it. A couple other tricks before I show you how I actually remove the foil. A couple other things I want to mention. So when I, get an order like I did for this book, I look through it, I read through it, what colors are in this book, and I go to my paper stash, my cardstock stash, and I pick out coordinating cardstock to go with this book. And that's how I pick the pages I'm going to add in. I never take anything out of the book. I keep the pages in order. I keep them intact. I don't remove any pages. I just add to it. And then once I pick my pages, I cut them all down to size. So they're always the same, this direction, always the same size. You can go shorter on the pages. You create a little shorter if you want. Or the same size. So I've done it both ways, but they do have to be the same, this direction, they have to be the same, vertical. Then before I actually even decide to take anything apart, and this was a lesson I learned the hard way, I go in and I number my pages, and what I'm using is little sticky note flags because they're very low tack, and I number all my pages. So 1, 2, and so forth. And little golden books have 12 pages. So then I deconstruct this book. And so I'm going to flip the camera around and show you how I remove the foil, the staples, and how I pull the pages apart. So here we go. All right, I have my little golden book, which I'm going to remove the foil. my hair dryer. Now you can use a heat tool, but I'm just using my handy dandy little hair dryer. I have it on a silicone mat because it's going to get very hot. So let's get started. I'm just going to check it to see if it's going to start peeling away. And if it isn't going to do it easily, I'm going to continue with the blow dryer. And you can tell when it's going to start and it's not ready yet. Okay, it started and it's really kind of gooey and it'll come right up, and that's how I preserve the foil. I'm going to set it aside. The next thing I do is I take the staples out and I use a really tiny little screwdriver like this. So I'm just going to do that. I go under the staple. I may pause the video and take the staples out because you guys know how to take the staples out, and then I'll come back. Well, see, this staple is coming up right here on this side. Pull that up, do the next, or do the other side, pull that up, and then I flip it around, but I don't put it directly on the surface because I don't want to scratch anything, and I just go right underneath and you just pull. The sides up. This might take a little bit. So see, there's one staple out. Okay, let me try to see if this is going to come up. This takes a little bit of elbow work. Got to get your screwdriver flat. Here's one side. And then here's the other side. Kind of get them straight. Flip it over and go underneath that staple and pull. And there's your staples. They're out. And you have not damaged the book itself. So I'm going to flip it over. Then I'm going to open it and show you how I take the pages apart. So I'm going to save this because I'm going to glue it right back onto the front cover only. So when you open this, Oh, this one's done a little differently. Okay, this one's attached a little differently than most. So here are your pages, and see how this is why I keep them numbered, but your page 1 and 12 are actually attached to your book. So I will take a knife and just score it right there without cutting away from the pages, just score it right there. But what I normally do, because normally that's not the situation, normally all the pages come out from the covers, but I'm going to move that aside, but I'm going to show you what I do. So normally I'd have page 1, 2, I'm going to open it to the center, and I think this is my center page. Yes. Okay. I take them, and then I go to my paper cutter, and what I'll do is I'll keep this folded, and I am just going to just take off, just barely cut it right there. I mean, it's not even going to be noticeable, just to pull them apart. Then I'm going to start laying my pages in order, adding my pages, which I've already created and have ready to go. So I'll put page, if I had page 1 ready, page 1, and then start adding my pages. And that's why as you're pulling these apart and cutting them, you may take they may go out of order. That's why I have numbered them as I did. So that's how I do that. Then I'll come back in just a few minutes and show you how I put the foil back on the cover. All right, all my pages have been detached from the book. Here's my front cover, and then here are all the pages. And again, that's why I keep the number on there. So those are all my pages and the back cover. I'm going to set those aside, and I'm going to put the foil back on. And there is a direction. There is a right way up. And okay, what I'm using is Fabri-Tac glue. I found that that is the best. And I just put some right on the foil. Kind of on both sides. Kind of a somewhat generous amount. And then I just reattach it to the book. Pulling it in as you go, because now it's not covering the front and back cover, it's just covering the one cover, just the front cover. So you're going to have a little more, so a little bit more material. So just keep working it. And in some cases, the books are a little dated and old, and this valley is weak, and there is a fix for that. What I've done is I've taken some twine, put some glue down on the valley, put some twine in, and then I've added a piece of like gold cardstock, and that works really well. So maybe in another video I can show you that. But this one wasn't an old a book that needed that, a book that needed reinforcement. It didn't need that. Again, I'm just going to go back and forth, make sure that this is completely down with no bubbles. And I think that might be it. And that's how I reattach the foil to the little golden book. And then again, I will start building my pages, adding a little golden book page, and then adding one of my pages that I've created. And then it gets cinched as the next step. All right, all that's left to do is to cinch this journal. I've added the book pages back in order, and I've added the pages I created in here. So that is how that comes together. I hope you guys found this video helpful, informative, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Thanks for hanging out with me for just a bit. I truly appreciate it. Be safe, be happy, be positive, and until next time, you guys rock.